Hi everyone, welcome to Token Topics. We're going to look into an exciting project called SPACECHAIN and SPC token. This seems to be an incredible opportunity to get in on an out-of-this-world project. Space could very well be the final frontier of blockchain. We're going to look into the founders, who's behind the project, where it's headquartered, the market cap, the price of the token, and more. You don't want to miss this video. If you're looking to a hot hold to add to your portfolio, this very well could be it. Before I begin, remember I'm not a financial advisor. I'm also not paid for or sponsored by SPACECHAIN. Let's go ahead and dive in. Your crypto safe with a DCENT Biometric wallet. With talks about exchanges going down and cyber attacks, it's smart to keep it on a hardware wallet. Purchase it now through Token Topics and receive a discount. I'm going to put the affiliate links in the description below. I'm particularly excited about this project because I have a love and a passion for space. I always have. Ever since I was a little boy, I always wanted to work with NASA. I own telescopes. I love looking into space. I live in Florida. I've been to the Cape a few times. So I see a lot of applications that could come out of this. Now, it reminds me, many people not, and I see it. So that reminds me of how like the pioneer days with the internet, or even now with blockchain, a lot of people still don't get it. They still don't know how a virtual asset could have value. Or even in the internet days, they didn't understand, what's the point? We get our mail, we have libraries and so on. But after the technology started rolling out, then people, they couldn't see life without it now. And I see the same thing with SPACECHAIN and these different applications and utility that will come from this. Some people might not fully see it right now, but there's a lot of companies that will want to dive into this. So there are some brilliant minds behind SPACECHAIN. One of the core developers of the original Bitcoin code is Jeff Garzik. He's a co-founder and chief technology officer. You also have Zhang, who is a co-founder and executive chairman. They founded SPACECHAIN in Singapore 2017. They recently brought in Cliff Beek as chief executive officer, and he has an impressive background working in the space industry for several years as CEO of Space Belt. And check this out, Tim Draper is one of the advisors of SPACECHAIN. There's some other big names there as well.
This intergalactic opportunity, and just to be planted on Earth, we got to let the audience know your accomplishments and your significance in this space. You've contributed to some of the largest OSS projects. This is operations support systems, some of the largest in the world. That essentially organize our bits and bytes like Linux, and you've also worked on Bitcoin itself in terms of the infrastructure. Now walk us through what your goals are with SPACECHAIN.
Absolutely. So taking my experience with Linux and open source, it was clear that open systems led to greater individual freedom. And that's really what inspires me here on Earth to do what I do every day, and to take that to the next level. Elon Musk, everyone is familiar with him at SpaceX. Very, radical, controversial, inspiring. A lot of adjectives can be applied to him. But I respect his thinking as an engineer, and he often makes the point about how humanity needs a backup plan. It's not just about that space is inspirational, which it is, and space inspires developers like myself, students, entrepreneurs everywhere, but it's also with climate change, with many of the issues that we have. As an engineer, you often hear probably your IT staff saying, back up your files, back up your work. We need to back up our species. And part of that is becoming a multi-planet species. And Elon is obviously working on the rockets and getting to Mars and kind of the big label things. But as we had the nickname in the Linux world, network plumbers, that's the tack that I take to space, is we need to wire the solar system for networking. We need to be able to send an email to space stations, which are being lofted more and more every year. We have the International Space Station, and more are going to be launched next year. We have lunar missions this year and next year. All of this needs basic communications. And as we look forward to some of the Blue Origins and SpaceX's and China's and United States's of the world landing on the moon, landing on Mars, they're also quietly, or maybe not so quietly, a layer of space startups like SPACECHAIN, like Alba Orbital, like Loft Orbital, like Astrobotics, that are hitching rides on these rockets. We're taking little tiny satellites, nano satellites, along for the ride, metaphorical iPhones in space. And this technology is really forms the vision around SPACECHAIN, is that we have the networking components, we have the spacecraft, and blockchain completed that final picture by adding cryptographic security to and an economic layer to what was otherwise just spacecraft pinging each other, doing exciting science missions. We added a layer of economic transmission along with that technical transmission. So you can pay someone on the moon to mine some moon rock from here on Earth as a example of using that network when complete.
SPACECHAIN is pretty impressive. They are the world's first open source satellite blockchain infrastructure, different from Constellation. They've already established the first satellite platform to transact digital assets, smart contracts, and much more. SPACECHAIN has already achieved some pretty incredible accomplishments, such as its 7th blockchain payload has been successfully launched into space. On the 26th of November last year, SPACECHAIN achieved another milestone by sending a VLAS blockchain node to the International Space Station. How cool is that? Now, this is the second integration of SPACECHAIN's payload with VLAS, the world's fastest EVM blockchain and open source platform for decentralized applications. The mission was made possible with NanoRacks and their Space Act agreement with NASA. The VLAS ISS project commenced in March 2022. In less than 9 months, SPACECHAIN built, tested, and launched the VLAS blockchain node to the International Space Station via the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Yes, indeed, using Elon Musk's SpaceX rocket.
Looking at a live view of Cape Canaveral Space Launch Complex 40, where a Falcon 9 is about to launch a Dragon spacecraft.
This is actually the first SpaceX launch I have see. It's really hard to describe, honestly, because it's the combination of all the human knowledge we have created in the past 5,000 years.
It's also just being in the atmosphere, being around people who are excited and who are counting down together and everyone cheering together, with all the fumes and everything, and finally launching up, seeing the light, the sound.
And for 2 minutes you are in awe and you see this very big, powerful machine into the sky. After a while you do hear the sound wave literally physically hitting your body, and that's absolutely stunning as an experience.
What SPACECHAIN does is that we're a company that focuses on integration with blockchain technology and leveraging satellite platform and bringing security and accessibility to the blockchain industry.
In simple terms, SPACECHAIN is building a decentralized constellation, bringing together different parties, different commercial entities that may or may not be linked together. So we're providing a neutral infrastructure using decentralized technology and leveraging the economic layers of decentralized technology. It's breaking down barriers to access the infrastructure that is needed to develop space applications. It's driving down costs. All of a sudden, companies that before could not even dream about having some infrastructure in space can actually join in thanks to what is SPACECHAIN doing.
So the ISS mission is a payload with nanoracks to the ISS. So nanoracks is the principal provider of services and payloads to the ISS, and we are launching a satellite multi-signature wallet to the ISS.
As you know, the blockchain industry often deals with fund transfers in the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars range. Multi-signature implies you need one or more approvers to all sign off on a single transaction or it doesn't happen. So you have to satisfy multiple parties and you have to satisfy a much higher level of scrutiny in order to get a transaction approved.
I believe that this is the first step to showcase how a satellite can be an active part of validating and authenticating the transaction between any party and how that can make that transaction more secure. So it's a milestone also for Bitcoin. I like the idea that we are bringing Bitcoin as a
global operating system, hosted in space, available to anyone, anywhere in the world. SPACECHAIN is building the world's first open-source blockchain-based satellite network. A mesh node constellation of low Earth orbit microsatellites will serve as the next generation of decentralized infrastructure for the blockchain industry, allowing users to develop and run applications in space, like cryptocurrency exchanges, global real-time sensor arrays, ultra-secure data storage, space VR, true peer-to-peer encrypted messages, or applications we haven't even dreamt of yet. All while remaining secure, immutable, and decentralized through proven blockchain cryptography. SPACECHAIN utility tokens will enable developers and users to run apps and store data on the blockchain, establishing a crowdsourced app marketplace, an open-source interoperability standard for all future space platforms. Imagine all satellites, spacecraft and hardware networked together by the open-source protocol and technology created by the SPACECHAIN community. What industries could we create and boundaries could we break by untethering innovation from the Earth? SPACECHAIN, revolutionizing the space economy.
Alright, let's go ahead and check out the SPC token. We're going to check out the total supply, the market cap, and so on. Right now, SPACECHAIN is trading at just under 2 cents a token. It's gone up about 5% for the day, the past 24 hours. Has a circulating supply at just over 307 million tokens, and also total supply at 259,213 SPC tokens, which is not many. It has a market cap at just under $6 million. That's not much, which is a good thing if you're getting in early. If you consider the market cap size, the amount of tokens, this thing has a chance to rocket into space. My personal opinion is we do need to see it listed on more exchanges though. So hopefully the team is working on that. Only way to really get your hands on the SPC token is through a swap. Here's the official website. SPACECHAIN is the world's leading integrator of space security and blockchain. SPACECHAIN offers space as a service for modern businesses, enabling companies to innovate new use cases using space products and take their blockchain tech to space. If you'd like to check out the white paper, it's right here on the website. Here's more information on the space-based multi-signature wallet, blockchain space mission design and management, all kinds of great information. Here's a timeline of events. I thought this is pretty awesome right here. Real-time view of satellites. Here's all the other technologies that are involved. They also have a pretty awesome store with some nice merch. Well, everybody, please put your thoughts and your opinions down below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you holding SPACECHAIN? Are you thinking about purchasing some? As always, thanks for watching another edition of Token Topics.